Hey YouTube, back with another collection video, and this time it's going to be for a much more recent system, the PlayStation 3. With the collection videos and system videos, I'm just going to look for the time being on YouTube at collections that I'm happy with, that are productly finished. You know, it's never truly finished, is it? Let's face it. But systems that I'm very happy with the collection, maybe one or two to get for each one. So far I've shown the Super Nintendo and the Sega Dreamcast. And now obviously the Sony Playstation 3. I've probably got something like 215 titles. Great system. Little brief history. I'm a Nintendo fan, sort of through and through, although I don't own a Switch. But I had the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, and then the Nintendo Wii. And I was a little bit disappointed that the Wii didn't have the HD graphics and take the plunge like the 360 did, and obviously the PS3, which made a lot of sense back then with HD TVs coming down in price and being on mass market. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, and I was seeing all the fidelity in some of the games on the 360 and the PS3, and I was just thinking, I want me some of that. Love the Wii, don't get me wrong, but that would be in a separate video. And again, on this system, the PlayStation 3, there's just a plethora of games, many different genres, tons of different quirky games, and still games that are slightly off the radar, and I'll go through that in some of the collection here. Now what I want to do is split this video into two. I'm just going to go through a few what I believe to be standout titles for the PlayStation 3, or at least for me they were, which was very difficult to do. There's tons of games. So I'll go through these first, and then I'll just go through the collection. Again, 215 games, so it might take a little while. I'll go as quick as I can, but if I get to games that I've got a little story about, or I want to talk about, I'll go into a little bit of detail, but I'll try and go through them quite quickly. So, starting with some of the creme de la creme games for this generation. It's not, I don't think any of these are PlayStation exclusives. So one is, two is, and the rest were multi-plats for the 360 and the PlayStation 3. Now I'm going to talk about the exclusive first, and it's a series that's synonymous with the PlayStation. That's the Uncharted series, but Uncharted 2. I mean, the first one was good. I bought that one just before this one came out, around that sort of time. I bought my PS3 probably 2 years into its life cycle. No, maybe 4 years in, 3 years in. I can't remember. But it was a good way in, so there was a huge library of games for me to pick through. So before I did, I made a little list of the games that I was wanting to play, things like that, and Uncharted was on there. But when we saw the trailer at E3 for Uncharted 2 that they showed with the collapsing building, I was floored, and it looked absolutely fantastic. And it's a great game. For me, it's that and 4 are arguably my favourites in the series. Brilliant game. So next, it was either this one or Arkham Asylum, but I think Arkham City just expanded on the Batman world much more. You know, you had all of Gotham to explore, and I remember in Arkham Asylum when you go into the Batcave and you saw the Batmobile, I was thinking, yes, maybe we can drive the Batmobile around, although we never did. But in this one we did, as well as the glider and things. And for me, City was just brilliant. Like a 10 out of 10 game. Both of these are 10 out of 10 games. Fantastic. Third one, very good, Origins. And the fourth one, was it Arkham Knight? On the PlayStation 4. Excellent games. One by Rockstar, and it's not the Grand Theft Autos, it's Red Dead Redemption. I absolutely love this game. I was crying out for a decent Western environment, premise, and they absolutely blew me away with this, as they did many people. The huge vast world, a great lead character, John Marsden, and for me, one of the best endings. I won't mention it, although the game is very old and you should have played it by now, but the ending in this is it's emotionally impactful, and just finished off a fantastic adventure and story. Brilliant game. Played the second one on the PS4, finished that one. But for me, I still think the first one's best. Right. Next, we've got Skyrim. What's there to say about it? An absolutely enormous fantasy world. Buggy as hell. I mean, I remember mammoths falling out of the sky as you're walking through some of the landscape. But that aside, you know, and very slow load times as well on the PlayStation 3, even when the patches were coming out. But I just had so much fun with this game. I just could not put it down. I couldn't wait to get home from work and jump into this world again and just discover caves. And you know, every cave you went into in this one was completely different. You didn't know what you were going to find. You were going to upgrade armor. There was just a multitude of quests and legions that you could join. And yeah, fantastic game. Cannot wait for the next one. And I'm sure it's going to be buggy as hell because it's Bethesda after all. Bless them. Next is a horror game for the system, a sci-fi horror. And I remember seeing some trailers for this and some gameplay and thinking, yes, I want some of that. It looked kind of like a Resident Evil in space. Love my horror games, love my sci-fi. Put those two together, absolutely fantastic. And that's Dead Space. Now, all of these I've finished. I'm going to show you now. And for me, Dead Space 1 is the pinnacle, is the best. Two arguably very close, and I love some of the zero-G elements to that where you're floating in space. Excellent. So yeah, that's quite a close contender. 3, they sort of dropped the ball a bit, and sadly the developers have gone under now, so I'm not sure what happens to the franchise. I would love to see a follow-up, not a remake. We've got plenty of those on the go at the moment with the current gen systems and the future systems. I'd like to see a lovely fresh return to form with Dead Space. It was just terrifying, and what I liked most about it is the fact that there was no HUD on the screen. You had this, it was third person, so the spine of the suit of the protagonist that you were controlling, that showed you the energy, the ammo in your gun, and your health and things like that, all in the suit. So it was very well done, that, and at a touch of a button it would tell you where you wanted to go. The protagonist's hand would come out, light would beam down and just show you where you needed to go. So there was no chance of you getting lost. The story would always push you forward, and it was so atmospheric and terrifying. And the weapons you were getting in this were absolutely excellent. The cutter that you would spin to sever limbs from some of these ungodly alien manifestations. It was great, and the upgrade system was good for both the weapons and your suit. Oh, I could go on and on about it. I love Dead Space, fantastic game. Next is another sci-fi, and it's BioShock. What's there to say about it? It's an absolutely fantastic game. Love the Art Deco styling, love the world of Rapture under the ocean, and there was nothing quite like it when this came along. The music, the soundtrack was fantastic, that 20s, 30s kind of scat music and jazz and big band. It was excellent, great acting. I absolutely love it. 2 was really good, not as good as 1, and 3 I did like, but I much preferred the world of Rapture under the ocean. It was just really dark and gloomy, but beautiful at the same time. But great architectural design. Yeah, I could just go on and on about it. And just last, but by no means least, I've mentioned Dark Souls many times before and just said what it is, but I've got to include Demon Souls in this as well. And this is the Black Phantom edition. Yeah, it's just art book and a soundtrack, I believe, comes with that. And this is the limited edition of Dark Souls. Love these games. Love them. Demon Souls was my first entry into it, and I'm really pleased to see there's a remake coming out, and they've really gone back to the foundations with this and just built the game all the way back up, and I think it looks stunning on PlayStation 5. A lot of people saying that it looks like a game that could run on PS4. I think if you look closely, it would really push the PS4. And I think with this sort of game, they're so atmospheric, you'll go through the game and there's no music playing, only with boss fights typically, and in your hub world. But you'll go through and it's just all the environmental sounds. And what the PS5's obviously touting is this 3D sound, where you can actually pinpoint and hear where an enemy's coming, where someone's going to shoot an arrow or whatever. And I think if they nail that 3D sound along with a beautiful presentation that I'm seeing on the PlayStation 5 showcases, this game is going to be fantastic, and I cannot wait to play that. I played this 2012 for the first time, something like that. Played it, beat it, and I played it probably about a month or so ago. No, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I can't remember. And played it again and still absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait for the next one. But anyway, for me, the pinnacle is Dark Souls. They really just raised the bar there, and they've got absolutely everything right in it. Brilliant game. Just pips Demon Souls for me. And there you go. Those are some of my highlights for the console. Right then, now what I'm going to do is go through the entire collection. I'll probably need to move the camera slightly, and I might just pile them all up on the floor and talk about some of the games that I'll go through, but I want to try and get through this quite quickly. Again, I've played and completed lots of these. I'll stress and mention the ones that I haven't played yet. I keep finding a few, and it's usually Eddie Rollercore that picks out a few, such as Pain was the last one you mentioned, Eddie, and that one looks quite interesting. So yeah, there's still a few that I'm discovering. I've probably got about 4 or 5 on my list to get, but I'm really happy with the collection. Like I said, there's about 215 games, so I'll go very quickly. See you in a minute. Right, that was a short minute. I did try setting the camera up in a different place, but it just wasn't going to work, so I'm just going to stick with this and let's commence. Right, I'm going to start actually with some of the big box games that I've got. I don't have many. I'm not really into the collector's editions like that, because it's a dark, slippery slope, that is. Although there are a few games that will make the exception too, and these are some of them. Got this one for a good price. It's Mass Effect 3 Collector's Edition. It's got like badges in there, soundtrack, art book, maybe a few postcards, the usual stuff like that. Oh, that's on back to front. I can have that. Or upside down. Very good little set, not a bad price, and I wouldn't mind. I think this is number 2 comes in the same sort of set, so I might have to look at getting that one. Next, did I ever mention I like Dark Souls? Well, this is Dark Souls 2 Collector's Edition, and it's in a blimmin' great box with statue, art book, obviously the game, and some other little trinkets and bits and bobs. But love this figure, really cool. Yeah, there you go, there's that one. This is the last of the big boxes. I was quite impressed with this. This is the BioShock 2 Special Edition. It comes with an LP, and as I said just earlier, that the music in the BioShock games from the 20s, 30s is absolutely fantastic, and it's a great little thing to have. It's got an art book in there, other little bits, postcards, the usual sort of gubbins, but it's the LP I was namely after, and what a huge box, quite a weight to it as well. So there's that one. Right, we'll start with the numerals. I've only got one game anyway. I would say it's a hidden gem, but everyone, that's quite a condescending thing to say nowadays. 3D Dot Heroes, clearly a rip-off stroke love letter to Zelda. Fantastic game, absolutely fantastic. Great music. Even the musical score, the theme in this is very reminiscent of the Zelda games, like Link to the Past. I think and the world map looks practically identical. But it does enough things differently to make it its own game. I mean, it's got beautiful graphical art style, sort of pixels that are in 3 dimensions, and the sword you get in, you can upgrade to like almost half the screen. It's silly, but it works so well. Fantastic game. Can't recommend that one enough. What have we got next? Adventures of Tintin. I played a little bit of this with the wife. She loves Tintin. And yeah, we got quite far into it, but we stopped because I think we were getting ready to move house. So yeah, that one. Afro Samurai, new game. I haven't played it yet. Like the graphic art style, and I was a fan of the anime. So it's nice and violent. It's an 18 certificate. So Samuel Jackson's voice in it, I believe. or someone that probably sounds like Samuel Jackson. I hope it is the man himself. Yes, Victor Samuel Jackson. Yes. So looking forward to that. Playing that one. Akiba Strip. This just sounded very strange, very Japanese. There's a place in Tokyo called Akiba, or Akihabara, which is the shopping district for in Tokyo for games and collectibles and things like that. And in this, there's something, you defeat the enemies, the women, by getting them naked or taking their clothes off or something. I mean, it sounds very bizarre. It's very Japanese. It just sounds very interesting. And apparently, it's quite good. But it's only 16, so I don't think it's too graphic. There's that one. Obviously, a pervert. Alice, Madness Returns. This looks very interesting. Really dark in tone. And I believe this one, or was it the previous one, was scored by Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails. I'm not sure if he returned for this one. But yeah, looking forward to playing that one. Arcana Hearts, which is basically a very anime Japanese manga female fighter, 2D fighter. Beautiful art style, gorgeous graphics, very sort of cutesy and over the top, and just very, very Japanese. Good little fighter, that bit off the radar. Army of Two and Army of Two 40th Day. This is ideal for couch co-op. My friend Pete come round. We actually jumped to the second one because he heard that was the better game, and we just wanted to try it out. But we had a great time with it in this, like a buddy system where you'll need to progress through the level, and you'll need to, one guy will have to go off to open a door from the other side whilst you fend off baddies, and you help each other out, and one man will drop, say, with being wounded, and you have to try and get back there in time to help, and the other guy will be sort of crawling towards you or crawling for cover. Very over the top game. Again, I think the PlayStation 3 is just ages so well with the HD graphics, you know, mostly anyway. And these are fantastic games, cheap as chips, great for couch co-op. Do you remember that? None of this online stuff. Anyway, brilliant game. Third person shooters, or first person are they? Third person, aren't they? God, it's ages ago since we played it. Assassin's Creed 2, this one's sealed for some reason, but this is the Game of the Year edition. The original one I played, the original Assassin's Creed actually played on the 360 when I owned it for probably what, I don't know, a couple months, and before deciding to get the PS3. I thought it was a bit buggy, but I liked the look of the game. But the second one, absolutely fantastic, loved it. And obviously now they come out annually, and it's just a bit too much Ubisoft. You know, this A, see some of your other classic franchises, or B, what about something new for a change? I'm just, a bit tired of them, as I know many other people are. Same with like Call of Duty, really. Asura's Wrath, played that just before moving house, so this was early last year. Great game, but it's basically a QTE game. It's basically an anime movie that you interact with fighting elements in there. It won't be for everyone, but I thought it looked absolutely stunning visually, and it still holds up really well. Capcom title, so it's got a lot of polish. They know what they're doing with these sort of fighting action games. Excellent. Go and check some YouTube out of it. It might not be for you, but yeah, thoroughly recommended. Back to the Future, the game. Me and my wife booted up, but we never actually played much of it. Must go back to that. Whoa, lenticular cover, and wouldn't mind booting this up in 3D because I've got a 3D TV in our bedroom. Batman Arkham Asylum, great game as mentioned earlier, fantastic. Batman Arkham City, Batman Origins. This is a 2D colourful anime-ish fighter with some crazy characters in there. Battle Fantasia. Again, I picked this up, it was quite cheap, so you might give this one a little look if you like your 2D fighters. Very colourful, bonkers moves, bonkers characters, yeah, fantastic. Bayonetta. The second one is much better in my opinion. This one, and I remember reading back in the day that the 360 version was superior because the load times in this were slow and it was quite buggy and glitchy, and I did find that with the PlayStation 3 copy, and it crashed a few times if memory serves. But again, played and completed this one. Very good, great female protagonist, Bayonetta, and great action in there. It's Platinum Games, isn't it, I believe? Is it? Yeah, Platinum Games. Bayonetta. Looking forward to the third one on the Switch when I eventually do get one. Beyond, I know a lot of people sort of shit on this, but me and my wife played it. Well, my wife played it and I sort of watched. She loves this style of game, making your choices, and story-driven games, narrative-driven games. She loved Heavy Rain, but she preferred this one, and I preferred this one more because I could see the enjoyment she was getting out of it. And yeah, Ellen Page in there, lovely sci-fi elements to it. It does go back and forth in the story a little bit, which can be a little bit distracting or confusing, but it's not that bad. Yeah, really liked it. And I think that's a Steelbook edition, that one. Bionic Commando, still wanting to play this one. Remake, just a new, updated, complete different game of the old classic NES and arcade game. BioShock, as mentioned earlier, utterly amazing. BioShock 2 is in the big box, and BioShock Infinite. I've just got the A to D's here, and then I'll cut and go on through there. This actually came today, earlier this morning. Bloodstone 007 on recommendation from Pete's Nestastic. I'm keen to give this one a bash, so yeah, I'll let you know about that one, Pete. Next, these in order. These aren't in order. They're B, but they're not in order. What have we got here? No, let's just get on with it. Burnout Paradise Ultimate. I like the occasional driving game, and this one's bonkers and very OTT. And I do remember liking some of the Burnout games on the original Xbox and around my mates, and I had one on the GameCube which was really good. So yeah, that one. Bulletstorm. Not many people talk about this one. This is real crass, over the top, violent, loads of swearing. The protagonist is a bit of a dick, but a lovable dick at that. This is the limited edition version, and I've also got the remastered version on the PS4, which is very, very good. First person shooter, it's just bonkers, and some of the kills you do in it are gruesome and just excellent. Highly recommended that one. Next we got Blaze Blue, or Blaz Blue as it's pronounced here. I've got the limited editions for all three of these. Again, these are 2D fighters, very Japanese, very over the top, flashy, gorgeous to look at, and I love my 2D fighters, I love my 3D fighters, but we've got Calamity Trigger here, CD soundtrack, art books are all in here. What's this one? Chrono Phantasma Extend. There you go. And Continuum Shift limited edition. All three great fighters. Blur, I need to put more time into this. I booted it up and just played it a couple of times. I really want to give this a go. It's basically more of a realistic Mario Kart of sorts, and yeah, I need to give this more time. It looks right up my alley. Body Count, I got this one after my video about playing and finishing Black. Eddie Rollercore chimed in the comments and said that Body Count is kind of a spiritual successor to that, although not by Criterion Games. So I'll give this a go. It hasn't got amazing reviews, but again, it was cheap as chips. So there's that one. The Borderlands games. I haven't got the first one. I thought it was alright. I thought the world was quite boring though. I love the art style, that sort of cel-shaded comic book look to it, and the looting of weapons. I love all that. But the second one I thought was excellent because they had much more different, varied graphical environment, locations in the world. Yeah, brilliant. Loved it. And Claptrap, the little robot, annoying but quite funny. And I've got the third one on the PS4 downstairs to play. That's near the top of the list to play. Brutal Legends, voiced by, what's he called, Jack Black. Is Eddie Riggs. Yeah, this looks unique and quite interesting, so looking forward to playing that. Apparently it's quite good. Buzz TV games, yeah, we've had some great times with Buzz on Christmases and yeah, gatherings and things like that. Good fun. Modern Warfare 2, one of a few Call of Duties I have, but yeah, I love the campaign in this, and I must admit I did actually get into the multiplayer back in the day, and could definitely see the appeal of it, but I was probably getting killed and whooped by, I don't know, some like 6-year-old kiddywinks who are just amazing at this game. So no, brilliant. I've got the remastered version that I've downloaded digitally on PlayStation Network. That's down on the PS4 to play, so that looks really good. This one's still sealed. Again, I've played both of these games, Castlevania and 1 and 2, Lords of Shadow 1 and 2. I've just got the demo of 2. Oh, it's got the DLC on there, but yeah, all sealed. Thought they were alright, looked stunning. Kojima was behind some of this with the, I think he produced, I'm not directed or helped out, but they looked great. But it wasn't like the classic Castlevania. I much prefer those 2D games like obviously Castlevania, Super Castlevania 4 and Symphony of the Night. And there's Castlevania 2. Played and completed them both though, very good. Very quirky game this, Catherine. Weird, very Japanese again. You've got girlfriend issues, and it's the meat and potatoes of the game is like a puzzle game. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Check out some video, it's quite crazy. I finished it. Yeah, I thought it was very unique and very different, and like I said at the start of the video, the PlayStation 3, and it's got loads of these sort of games on there, as well as your AAA titles. Child of Eden, apparently a spiritual successor to Rez. Haven't played this yet, must do so. Chronicles of Riddick. I played Butcher's Bay on the original Xbox, and it was probably one of the last games to come out on it, wasn't it, I think? And it looked absolutely stunning. I thought it was looking almost like 360 next gen back in the day, but it's got a more polished version of that on there and another game, so yeah, looking forward to that. I'm not really a huge Vin Diesel fan, but I know he loves his games, and yeah, really enjoyed Butcher's Bay. Condemned 2, fantastic, loved it. First person brawler, quite dark, gritty, and yeah, I remember playing and completing that yonks ago. The Crysis games, they're always held as like a benchmark for the PC, weren't they? If your PC could handle Crysis, then you got a good PC. But obviously the console versions, I played the original Crysis, and I can't remember what that was on. For some reason I haven't got it in the PS3. Maybe that was on Xbox 360 when I had it. Was that the previous generation? I can't remember. But this is limited edition 2 and Crysis Hunter Edition 3. Both great first-person shooters with a nice sci-fi feel to them. Right, nearly there. With it up to D. Dark Sector. I remember seeing an early demo for this before any of the PlayStation 3 or the 360 consoles were out, and it looked absolutely awesome. I thought it looked really good. I think they went back to the drawing board and changed the game quite a bit. You've got a glaive in this, which is your primary weapon. Opens doors and things, a bit like maybe the Boomerang and Zelda, but yeah, really looking forward to playing that one. Dark Souls, need I say any more? There's the Dark Souls 2 steelbook from the collector's edition here. The Darkness, I loved this as well. This was fantastic. Who voiced? You're called Jackie, and you're part of like a gangster kind of family or group, and it's very dark, very gritty. And who voiced, was it the lead singer of a rock metal band, isn't it, who voices the demon inside you, the darkness? I can't remember what his name is, but anyway, the first one absolutely excellent. I played the second one and thought it was really disappointing. This is where it's at. Fantastic game. I wouldn't mind seeing another one of these. The special abilities in this with your darkness powers were great, and it was really gory, there were many ways to get through the environment and take on the baddies in this. It was, brilliant game. Nothing but good memories of that one. These, both of them, Darksiders, these were fantastic this generation. It was basically like a much more mature, graphical powerhouse version of Zelda. And you've got your sort of apocalypse, what they call, what's he called? War and things like that. And where it's similar to Zelda is you'll come to a dungeon, you'll find a weapon or an ability in that, and you use that ability to navigate that particular dungeon, and that will aid you to kill the boss as well in there. And then obviously you can upgrade all these different things afterwards, and you get more and more abilities. And it's got that kind of similarity with Zelda. And you ride a horse around. It's fantastic games, fantastic. Third what's it called? Third person action games, brilliant. Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, Collector's Edition, got some postcards and things in there I think. And Dead Space 3, which was, it was alright, it was a good game, just not on par with the first two. Love my fighters. Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, I think I've got loads of the Dead or Alives. Dead Rising 2. Oh, a bit parched. Hang on a sec. Yeah. Deadly Premonition. This has got a lovely Twin Peaks sort of psychological weirdness, horror vibe to it. Looks really good. Apparently, though, back in the day, it was didn't really receive good critical acclaim, but I think it gathered a bit of a cult following. So, yeah, like the look of that one. Demon Souls, Deus Ex, fantastic, Blade Runner-esque. Love the lead character Jensen in this. Beautiful game. Love the upgrade system where you're part sort of cybernetic, part human. You upgrade your eyes, your vision ability, your arms, your power, your jumping, your falling, your speed, and everything like that. Really love the upgrade branch and tree system in there. It's fantastic. Played the follow-up to this on the PS4, and I still think this one's slightly better. Brilliant game. Love it. Devil May Cry. I remember playing this back in the early noughties on my mate's PlayStation 2 in our bachelor pad, and didn't really like it that much. It was alright, I liked the setting and the idea of it, but I just found it a bit clunky with the jumping and the 3D aspects of it. They haven't quite perfected that. I think it was Devil May Cry 1 actually, so obviously in the sequels and things, they no doubt perfected that. I did play the one on PlayStation 3, and I played the one prior to that. I can't keep up with them all now, and I have got, it's 5, isn't it, on the PS4, so I played 4 on the PS3. Did I play a bit of 3? I might have played a bit of 2. Anyway, I love these HD collections. I know some people think some of these games, why can't they just make new games, but I don't mind these. That if they're just sort of giving a little bit of polish to a previous generation game, I'm all for that. I've got quite a few of those HD collections. Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls. This is the Ultimate Evil Edition, but me, my wife, and my mate Pete, we played through that, and yeah, we really enjoyed it. Loved the looting, loved the dungeon crawling, loved the world. Dishonored. Love it. Absolutely love it. Again, I love a game with a good kind of upgrade system with your abilities and things like this, and you get some great stealth abilities in this, and you can blink, which is basically sort of beam yourself over to different places. You'll get like a target, and you'll see it'll go to an edging or a platform on an adjacent building, and you'll just press that special ability, and you'll blink over there, and you can control rats, you can control bats, and you can possess people, and yeah, brilliant. Lovely art style, and this kind of reminds me of like the Time Splitters art style, but not quite. It's very unique. Love the world they created in there, it's brilliant. I played the second one on the PS4, and again I prefer the original. Doom 3, thought it was very good back in the day. Again, id do always push their graphics and the technology, and it looked stunning. I remember some of the pictures in the magazines back then was great, and I think you can unlock in this one the original games. Yeah, very good. Doom. Prefer the original though. Dragon's Age, I must go back and play that one. That's one I definitely want to play. The original. I haven't got the second one because I heard that one's not all that good, and I've got the third one on the PS4 to play, but I want to play the one on the PS3 first. Next is Dragon's Crown, Atlas game, looks absolutely stunning, lovely art style, 2D, pseudo 3D backgrounds, great character design, but didn't really get on with it. Just found it a bit boring, after a while. I was playing it with my friend Pete and my wife, and we thought we'd give it a go, and we just got bored. It was just too repetitive, but might go back to it. I know that's there's a huge following for the game out there, but it just didn't quite click with me. Driver San Francisco, loved the original games on the original PlayStation 1. This is apparently very good, and me and the wife went to San Francisco, what was it, 2018, for our honeymoon, and I'm looking forward to driving around those streets that we walked around quite a lot over there. And then Disney's DuckTales Remastered. I played the digital version, so I've got this one sealed still. And thought it was alright. I remember playing the NES version around a friend's. I can't remember who the hell owned it back in the 80s. I thought it was an excellent game. I loved it. DuckTales on the original NES. That one definitely captures the charm of the original, but for me, I still prefer the original. Right, I'm going to cut it here and then carry on, starting with the letter E. So, right then, let's continue with E's through to P. Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Played this on the 360 when I had it for a couple of months. Loved it, finished it. Great game. Not quite as good for me as Skyrim, but still very, very good. El Shaddai. I've heard great things about this. The visuals look excellent, and really look forward to giving this one a bash. Enslaved, finished this one. Based on the old monkey mythology, Chinese mythology of Journey to the West. Very good game, technically very impressive. Love the climbing around aspects, and great production. The main protagonist who you play as Monkey is voiced by Andy Serkis, so obviously had a big budget. I don't think it did that well with sales, but yes, good game. Eternal Sonata, always fancied this RPG, but haven't got around to playing it yet. It's got like a Chopin music score, so seems really interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. Like my F1 games, and I just picked this one up cheap in a charity shop. Rare that I found something different than a FIFA game, but do like these, and this one's apparently very good. I did boot it up just to try it out and enjoyed it. Next we've got like a chibi cutesy version of F1 motor racing, which looks a little bit like Mario Kart as well, so something a bit more fun. Apparently quite good. Looking forward to playing that. I haven't even booted that one up yet. Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition, excellent game, thoroughly enjoyed it. Brilliant. Although, did I prefer the fourth one? No. Controversial, I know. I haven't played this one, and I know there's a huge following for this, and that's Fallout New Vegas. I will get around to playing that one day. Far Cry 2, probably the weakest of the series, but I thought I had a great time with this, sort of breaking down in Africa in your car, loads of people after you, and then getting into the engine and fixing your Jeep up before you can speed off. Finished it, really enjoyed it. But again, it's probably like the weakest or the most underappreciated of the series. Now, Far Cry 3, on the other hand, is held in very high regard and for good reason. Excellent game. Takes it back to its roots, where it's more on a tropical, lush island, and really up the story aspects of this with a great protagonist and a great villain. Really good. Far Cry: The Wild Expedition. Now, one game. I mean, I played Far Cry. I can get confused with Far Cry. Was that the one that actually came out on the Xbox? I played it on there and finished it. Loved it. Far Cry 2 we've just been through. Far Cry 3. But this game, I was gutted to find out that it isn't actually on the disc. You have to download it. But it's the it's like a little side game really, but with a lovely 1980s aesthetic. I think Michael Biehn, who plays Hicks in Aliens, and Reese in Terminator, voices the protagonist, and the soundtrack is brilliant. Soundwave electronica, it's fantastic. Really highly recommend that game. It's not a long game to beat, but it's just a fantastic little game. Please check that one out if you haven't. Anyway, the Fear games, again, I love my horror. These are 18 certificates. I've got all 3 here. I think they got progressively worse, but I say that 3 still excellent. Still, I love the series, but the first one, or it might have been 2, was my favourite. I would love to see another game come out for the PS4, excuse me, or the PS5 in this series. So yeah, great games, first-person shooters with a lovely paranormal horror aspect to them. FIFA 2012. Pumped loads of hours into that with my mates when they used to come round and have a few drinkies. FIFA Street, apparently very good. Played it a few times, but keen to play it with some friends, again with drinkies. FIFA Street 3, which is more of a kind of stylized graphical style. This is more realistic. This one's got a little bit more sort of illustrative style with the characters, exaggerated limbs and stuff like that, but apparently very good. There's that one, I'll put that there. Fight Night Round 4, great times with this. Love my boxing games. I was just speaking to, through the comments section with Mike, without further ado Retro, saying, why isn't there a boxing game out for this last generation? It's criminal. It's just the UFC fighting games, which are still good, but I do love my boxing games, and yeah, brilliant. Really enjoy that. Fight Night Champion, better and a stronger single player aspect to that one. These I haven't played, but I'm really keen to do so very, very soon. They're 3D beat 'em ups, and it's Fist of the North Star 1 and 2. So again, based on the manga, very over the top, very violent, very bloody, incredible moves, heads blowing up. Really looking forward to these. And I've got the third one, which is a different style again, on the PlayStation 4. It's got more of an RPG, action RPG kind of elements to it. These are just more going through the environments and beating the crap out of people, so it sounds really good. Next, got Folklore. I've started this, I'm a good few hours into it, and it turns up a lot on hidden gem videos and stuff like that, but this is one of the first games released for the PlayStation 3, and it's got a beautiful aesthetic, very fantasy based, and it's like an action RPG. Very, very good, very good. I can't wait to get back to that one. Ghostbusters, the video game, apparently very good. I did try to play it. Is it 2-player? But I think something was wrong with it. The servers are down, so you can't play multiplayer or something. Anyway, but apparently it's very good. Love me some Ghostbusters, great movies. God of War Remastered collection. Just God of War 1 and 2 from the PlayStation 2. I've seen them and played little bits of them around with friends. Do like the franchise. Played 3, thought it was excellent, and the most recent game on the PS4, which is obviously a step in a different direction, but very, very good. And there's God of War 3, excellent game. Grand Theft Auto 4, very good. I love the Grand Theft Autos, they're all excellent as far as I'm concerned. I loved 5. I thought 5 was absolutely fantastic. What they pulled off graphically with the technology for the PlayStation 3 Rockstar with the PS3 is just phenomenal. And I know it's been dragged out quite a lot now, and I know they'll be working on Grand Theft Auto 6. So for the PlayStation 5, I'm sure. But yeah, really love this game. Never bothered with the multiplayer, just love the story aspect. Grand Theft Auto episodes from Liberty City, haven't booted this up yet. It's got 2 little kind of like episode sub-chapters from the Grand Theft Auto universe. Really looking forward to giving that a bash. Grid, apparently a fantastic racer. Gave it a bash a few times. Yeah, I really like it. It looks stunning even today. Heavenly Sword, one of the first games to come out for the PS3, and by the team that did Enslaved and Hellblade. This is one of the first games I played when I got my PS3, and it just blew me away. The amount of characters you get on the screen, and you're this female protagonist who was really, really cool, and by the end of it you are just an absolute powerhouse with your sword there. And it's like the Matrix, you go out into this huge field of all the baddies coming towards you, and you're just swinging your sword around and just flying everywhere. You're so overpowered, it's brilliant, but you build up to that towards the end of the game. Don't really hear too many people talking about this one, it's a little bit forgotten, but absolutely brilliant, and really showed me the power of the PlayStation 3 after I took the leap from the Wii. Brilliant game. Heavy Rain, again, played through this once pre-meeting my now wife, and really enjoyed it, and then I knew she was talking about getting into these games. She liked the look of this one, and she absolutely loved it, and again, she preferred Beyond, but her favourites is still Detroit on the PlayStation 4 by the same team. What the team called again? Quantic Dreams, that's it, yeah. David Crane, is it? Really, really good games. Different. Another classics range here, Ico and Shadow Colossus. I played Ico back in the day on the PlayStation 2. I actually bought the game specifically when again, at the bachelor pad in the early noughties, so I could play it on the PlayStation 2 because I just thought it looked absolutely brilliant. I loved the art style and I loved the premise of it, and was blown away by it. So I had to get it again and went for it again on the HD compilation here. And this is the first time I played Shadow of the Colossus. I thought, well, I know it's a highly regarded game. I missed it on the PlayStation 2, so I played this version and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've got the remake for the PS4, so I'm going to give it maybe a year or so and then jump onto that one. Right then, on to Infamous. 2 great games. I think, which one did I prefer? I can't remember. It was ages ago when I played these. So we've got Infamous 1 limited edition, brilliant games, or collector's edition, special edition, and the special edition for Infamous 2, which is still sealed with a lenticular case and the usual gubbins inside. Excellent games. Loved Second Son on the PS4 and the other title that eludes me. Finished them all, very, very good games. Another 3D Classics compilation of Jak and Daxter. 3D platformers that are very highly regarded by Naughty Dog. Looking forward to playing these. I did boot up the first one to try out the 3D aspect on my 3D TV years ago now at the old house. And yeah, the 3D looked excellent for the game, so I might do the same thing again, play them through in 3D. Journey Collector's Edition, which comes with Flow and Flower. Polished off all the games, and it's by the developer of that game company. Flow was okay, nothing to write home about. Journey's where it's at, absolutely fantastic game, and Flower's very good as well. Very different, abstract, sort of peaceful games to play really, and Journey, I was absolutely blown away playing that for the first time. I didn't really know too much about it. My friend said, just play it, I'm not going to tell you about it, but please just play it, so I did. And yeah, the online function of it, where you meet up with other people and you sort of cheap, you don't really speak to each other, but you sort of communicate through these little cheap sounds. Yeah, brilliant game, love it, everyone knows about it. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, apparently it's quite good. I do need to check it out. It's like a 7 out of 10 sort of game, I believe. Oh, here we go, look. Todd McFarlane's got involved with the character designs, it looks like, so yeah, that should be quite good. Clive Barker's Jericho, another horror game. Don't really know too much about this one, but apparently when I was doing my research into hidden gems and things like that, that one came up a few times. Just Cause 2, just mindless fun, isn't it? Just blowing everything up and escaping all these baddies, launching things into the air, launching yourself on a rocket and skydiving and stuff. Just great, mindless fun, brilliant game. Next, another 2D fighter, King of Fighters 13. Brilliant game, plays like a dream, loads of characters, good fun. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5. I haven't played them, and the more I've looked into them, I'm not sure if I'm gonna. They just seem a bit daft to me, but we'll see. You know what? Another Rockstar game, complete edition. Completed this back in the day, and the big thing with this was the lip syncing, the acting, and the facial expressions. Because obviously in this you play a detective, and you need to see if people are telling you porky pies, telling you the truth, and you make decisions based on what you think. And that progresses the story. But yeah, I love the 1930s gangster kind of art style and aesthetic. It was good. I tried playing it again with my wife. I thought she might like this one, seeing she likes Beyond and things like that, and she likes the detective aspects of stuff. And yeah, she thought it was sort of showing its age. Right, next we got Leia, which is the it's not even a swan song for Factor 5, because I believe this was a massive expensive flop, but I thought I'd pick this one up just to see what all the fuss is about. And there's a few people saying it's alright, but it's got a little bit of a following. We'll check it out at some point. Lego games, played them all. My wife, she loves the Lego games. Indiana Jones, Lord of the Rings. Actually, I really like the Lord of the Rings one, because I haven't played this one yet, the complete original Star Wars saga. Little Big Planet, yeah, they're alright. I think I would prefer get into these much more many years ago, but great aesthetics, love the idea behind it. Stephen Fry does the narration. Yep, I've had quite good fun with some of these. I haven't really played Little Big Planet 2 though. Very bonkers game this, Lollipop Chainsaw by the guys that did No More Heroes and what was the other one? More games coming up basically. And Grasshopper Software, yeah, very bonkers game, very violent, very silly, very Japanese. Brilliant though, good fun, crazy action. I remember one boss being really difficult in this, but yeah, polish this off and yeah, that's right. You've got the severed head of your boyfriend there as who sort of talks to you as a little accomplice through the game. Absolutely bonkers, but good fun. The Lost Planet games I remember seeing back in the day, and for some reason I just never got around to picking them up or playing them. I've got Lost Planet 1, Lost Planet 2, and Lost Planet 3, and I believe it started a little bit more sci-fi, horror-ish with the first one, but they got progressively more sort of just action-based and turned into shooters. That's my understanding anyway, but they're all apparently very, very good. Mafia 2, I love this game. I absolutely love this game. Finished it. Great character, great story, great dialogue in this, funny, and again, I love the gangster 1930s setting. Right. Imagine in the Forsaken Kingdom. Now, this gets brought up quite a lot in hidden gem sort of videos, and yeah, it looks bizarre, but a lovely sort of fantasy setting, good sort of creature design, very colourful. Yeah, I don't really know too much about this one, but really keen to try that one out. Next we got Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the Ultimate Edition, and in this you've just got so many fighters. I think it's 48 fighters from both series, and again I've got the latest edition of Marvel vs. Capcom on the PlayStation 4, but again you haven't got hardly any of the characters, and that's probably because they're all bought and owned by Disney, or there's licensing issues, and that's the thing now with some of these games. You know, Mr. Glory days of just bringing these games out with the complete characters for the Dreamcast, and on Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, and then 3, you know, this is where it's at. The fourth one was very, very disappointing. Mass Effect 2, played the first Mass Effect. Again, that's part of the reason I got the 360 back in the day, and finished that one. It never came out for the PlayStation 3, but I've got 2 and 3 in the big box that I showed you earlier. 2, it's definitely my favourite. 3 I thought was excellent. I know loads of people moaned and whined about the ending in there. I don't really have too much of an issue with that. just a great series, and the one afterwards is on Andromeda. Looks like absolute turd. Apparently the developers were rushed for that one, but there you go. Max Payne 3, thought was alright, mindless sort of action and fun. Next we've got Metro Last Light, first person shooter, looks absolutely stunning back in the day, and I'm sure it holds up today. I've got the new one on the PS4. Yeah, it's got a good story, love the aesthetics, and like a dark kind of apocalyptic tone to it. Very, very good, check it out. Metal Gear Solid 4, yeah, it was good, fun, but Kojima for me does crawl up his own backside, and I just found this a little bit pretentious in places. The cutscenes go on and on and on, and that's a bit of a drag, but overall it's a very good game. You know, it is a very good game. They're all very good games. And Metal Gear Solid, the HD collection. Again, played and finished all of these. No, I haven't finished or played, I don't think, Peace Walker. That was the one on the PSP, I believe. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater was fantastic, and Sons of Liberty was really good in the day, but I preferred Snake Eater. The MotorStorm series, I forgot, yeah, this is Apocalypse, so in this one you're driving around. It's a little bit more fantastical, this one, where the track sort of collapse through earthquakes and natural disasters and things like that as you're racing around the track. Great fun, great graphics on these things. Pacific Rift is brilliant also, and I haven't got the first one. Next we go on to Naruto Storm 3, Ultimate Ninja. Yeah, I love the cell shaded look in these, great fighting game, yeah, good fun. Naughty Dog, I covered this in my pickups video a few vids back. Looks silly, good fun, quite glitchy, looking forward to playing more of it. Never Dead, mentioned this one in a pickups video as well. Still haven't got around to playing it. Looks really interesting, looks quite quirky, bit different. Next, RPG Ni no Kuni. Love Studio Ghibli. The artwork in this is fantastic, and the soundtrack is by Joe Hayashi, who does a lot of most of the musical scores, I think, on the Studio Ghibli films. Looks stunning. Played about 6 hours of this back in the day, but for some reason I stopped and just never got back to it. So I will play this again, but I do want the Wizard Edition, which comes in the big sort of white box with the drippy plush and the spellbook. I've played and finished the second one on the PlayStation 4, which apparently isn't as good, but for some reason I just got hooked onto it and finished it. It did annoy, some aspects did annoy me, but yeah, looking forward to playing that one. Nier, this is the game I believe which is a precursor to Nier Automata. I haven't played this, really looking forward to doing so. Nier Automata, very good on the PS4. Strange, unique. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Collector's Edition 2, so this comes with the soundtrack, art book and stuff like that. But yeah, the Ninja Gaiden series, synonymous with its difficulty, but yeah, great games. Finished this one, played the original. I get confused with some of the names of these. I played it on the original Xbox, and there was a couple I believe on the original Xbox. They were fantastic, and then moved on to these on the PS3, and very, very good action games. The Orange Box collection of games by Valve. Half-Life 2, absolutely fantastic game. Portal, that really was fantastic, and kicked off a great sequel as well. Team Fortress 2 I haven't really played, but I believe that's more focused on like an arena multiplayer sort of game. So, but yeah, great little find in the charity shop. That, really pleased with that. Overlord, where you play as the baddie with all your little minions, and yeah, I quite like the idea of being mean and being on the other side of the fence for a change. Again, this one's sealed for some reason, but looking forward to playing that one. Apparently it's very good. Pain, which was brought up by Eddie Rollercore in one of his kind of recent-ish videos, pickups videos, and it just looks really good fun. I can imagine just having a few of the lads around, having a few beers, and just having mindless fun with this. It looks very, very interesting. It's kind of got like is it that goat simulator thing where you're just sort of chucking him around everywhere? I don't know. We'll see. Painkiller, Hell and Damnation, a kind of horror first-person shooter. Looks quite interesting. I got the collector's edition because it came in at a good price. Another quirky 2D fighting game by Atlas. Persona 4, which is typically like an RPG, but yeah. Persona 4 Arena Ultimix. What a name. Very colourful, very over the top, very Japanese, very good fun. Recommend that one. PlayStation All-Stars, basically their answer to Brawl on the Nintendo, or sorry, Super Smash Brothers. Not a patch on it, but an interesting novelty nevertheless. Porto 2, phenomenal game, loved that, really gets the brain active and functioning. Prince of Persia, not as good as Sands of Time and some of the original ones, but still very, very good. It's got more of a cel-shaded graphical style. Yeah, more of the same. Recommend, it's good. And then the Prince of Persia Classics HD compilation there, with Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and The Two Thrones. Now, I played all of those on the GameCube back in the day, so it'll be nice to see how much they've polished up in HD. Prototype, 3D action beat-em-ups, adventure games. I remember seeing these around quite a bit back in the day when the PlayStation was really in full blossom, but just never got around to playing them. So I've got 1 and 2 there. Let me know what they're like. Apparently they're quite good. Last Year for the Peace section is a great game. Kind of in a lot of the hidden gem videos, and it's Puppeteer, where it's just like a lovely little adventure game, action platformer, and you've got the aesthetic of like a theatre production where you're on a stage, you've got canned laughter in the background, you've got a narrator, you've got a gorgeous art style, and you use scissors to cut the stage, which sort of drops, and you've got layered like cardboard stages, and oh, it's just fantastic. Go and check out some video footage for this. It's thoroughly recommended, and I'll see this one being very collectible later down the line. Right, I'm going to move these games away, have a little break cut, and we'll work our way through all the way through the rest of the alphabet. Last leg, let's get going. Rage by id Software and Bethesda wasn't bad. It looked spectacular, but it was very buggy. It pushed the PS3 to the limits, and ideally it could have been optimised much better. I remember just being in certain scenarios and you would actually watch the textures popping in so slowly sometimes, and the frame rate was terrible. Not an excellent game, but again, I didn't mind it. Ratchet and Clank, love these games. Great 3D platformers, really good fun. Got that one, which was A Crack in Time. Tools of Destruction, I can't remember which one I preferred. I think they're both really good. And this is still sealed. Ratchet and Clank's Trilogy of the Classics, so this is from the PS2, I believe. Looking forward to playing those. Rayman Origins, played this, and Legends. I think I've got Legends on another system. Excellent game. Hard as hell, some of the levels. Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare, just a little bit of a fun spin-off from the original game. Yeah, not bad, good fun, but again, not a patch on the original. Resident Evil 5, not the best in the series, much more action orientated than survival horror, but I still thought it was a good game. Much better playing it through with a friend, couch co-op though, than the single player. Single player is still good, but I think couch co-op just elevates it to a new level. Resident Evil 6, yeah, worse than the series. Aspects of it were quite good. I believe the Leon episodes were much more old school Resident Evil, but yeah, just weak. Capcom needed to go back to the drawing board with the new ones. This is a great game, Resident Evil Revelations. I played this on the 3DS and it is absolutely fantastic. finished it. Haven't played it on the PS3, but yeah, fantastic game. Resistance Fallen Man. This was one of the launch titles for the PS3. Very good. I thought it looked crap at the time, or not crap, it just didn't look next gen, and again it was a launch title. But playing it, it played very, very well, but the second one was much better, and I really liked 3 as well. Got a special edition steelbook there. Resonance of Fate, an RPG which is apparently very difficult, by Sega, and one that I didn't really know anything about until, again, I was doing my research and looking for games that are off the radar or underrated and hidden gems and all that business, and came across that one, so looking forward to that. Ridge Racer 7, very good, very drifty, arcadey sort of racing game. The Saboteur, haven't played this, looking forward to doing so. Again, this one does turn up on the odd hidden gems videos. Saw, which is based on the movies, a horror game, apparently underrated, apparently very good. Looking forward to checking that one out. Got up there, it's Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. Loads of fantastic Mega Drive games on there. Yeah, must have. Shadows of the Damned. Now this, for me, is one of my favourite underrated games on the PlayStation 3. It's by Grasshopper that did No More Heroes, Lollipop Chainsaw, what else? Killer 7, did they do Killer 7 before that? Anyway, this is by far my favourite of their titles. Fantastic gothic horror setting, silly in places. You've got a gun called the Boner, which turns into the Big Boner, and it elongates as a phallus. There it is there, this skull gun. But it plays so well. The level design, the creatures, the atmosphere is fantastic in there, and it's, like I say, it's got this lovely wit and humour that runs through it as well. Absolutely brilliant. Probably one of my top, maybe the top 10 on this. Well, it's near there on the system. Silent Hill Homecoming, haven't played it. I don't think it's supposed to be up there with 1, 2, and I think 3 are held in the highest regards. But yeah, look forward to that one. It's a horror game. Classic Silent Hills. Apparently these aren't very good, and they do recommend playing the originals on the PlayStation 2. Apparently the HD well, not so much the graphics, but the frame rate, and there's issues like that. But yeah, classic games. Looking forward to giving those a bash. I did start the second one years ago, and for some reason just stopped playing it. So, but I do want to go back to that one. Simpsons game, apparently very, very good fun, based on the show, obviously. Singularity, a great first-person shooter. Now, I am picky with my first-person shooters. I like that there'd be a different aspect about it, and this has got a lovely time traveling aspect to it, and you get a fantastic weapon in this called the time displacement gun, something like that, and you can either forward up time as you shoot someone, or rewind. So you can, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant as a first-person shooter, and it reminds me a lot of BioShock. It's got that sort of vibe to it. Great perks and things like that in it, and yeah, it's got like a Cold War, Russian retro futuristic sort of sci-fi aspect to it. Really, really good. Siren Blood Curse, horror game. Don't really know anything about it. Looked quite interesting. Apparently the reviews are quite favourable. Sleeping Dogs. I didn't expect much from this, but I know it got good reviews, but I just didn't know what to make of the gameplay that I did see, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It's got like a Yakuza-y kind of aspect to it, but the lead character's really cool. You learn more martial arts, you sort of 3D action adventure, bit of Grand Theft Auto in there a little bit, and you could just chuck people into the environment and you get extra points for giving them nasty deaths and things like that. But yeah, really, really good game, that. Really good story. Sly Cooper's supposed to be excellent as well. Thieves in Time. This is a follow-up to the games on the PlayStation 2. Looking forward to playing this one. A lot of people are crying out for another game in that series, and this is the Sly Cooper HD trilogy. Got quite a few of those, as I said. Sonic Generations, apparently one of the better Sonic games. Yeah, really like the look of that one. Not a huge Sonic fan at all. Sorcery, this is with the PlayStation Move, and apparently this game's really good as well. So, got that one super dirt cheap. Looking forward to it. Soul Calibur 5, one of the weaker Soul Caliburs, but I love the Soul Calibur games. Fighting games, 3D fighting games. South Park: The Stick of Truth, really good RPG. Obviously made by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who devised the show, and it's basically like you're playing a feature-length cartoon episode of South Park. Really funny. Some of the scenes are just, ludicrous and hilarious, brilliant. And I played the follow-up, The Fractured But Whole, on the PS4, which is good, but for me, again, the original's still better. And obviously made by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the makers of the series, the cartoon. Spec Ops: The Line, first-person shooter. Didn't really know anything about this one, but it's got really good reviews and a good following. Splatterhouse. To tell the truth, I only really got this to get in this. You can unlock the original arcade games, so and you do that by getting to certain points through the game. So I just did that, but I didn't really like this. It just needed more time in development, more time to bake. The jumping aspects were quite sloppy. I thought it was repetitious, and I think like there was a bit of a lag with jumping and things like that, and you would die for it, and it would just make it frustrating. So I just think it needed a little bit more time, and it would have been a far better game. But yeah, a little bit disappointing in that. But again, just got it for the original arcade games. Another racer, which is supposed to be very good, Split Second Velocity. Haven't played it yet. SSX, back to the series roots apparently, and very good. I have booted up and played a couple of courses. I did enjoy it. Starhawk, which is looks like a sci-fi mech shooter, space battle action adventure game. Don't really know too much about it, but I do see this come up on a few underrated PS3 game videos, and yeah, I thought I'd give it a bash. Again, dirt cheap. Stranglehold by John Woo. This is quite an old PS3 game, and it's got like bullet time-ish mechanics similar to Max Payne. Don't mind a little bit of John Woo movies, and it's got I think Chow Yun-fat, who's excellent, Chinese movie actor, martial artist. He's in this, so looking forward to playing that one. Street Fighter 4 Ultra. I mean, this is where Street Fighter's really sort of started to piss me off. I mean, they're very good games. They play very, very well, but I hate all this nonsense about the Street Fighter Ultimate Champion Edition and all these. It's the same game repackaged with extra players, and they're doing it again now with the PlayStation 4 Street Fighter 5 game. It's just infuriating. It really gets on my nerves. Street Fighter versus Tekken. My wife had that when I met her. She had her PS3, and we would play this now and again. It was alright. This is the only Japanese game I've got, but well worth hunting down and getting. It's Strider. It looks absolutely gorgeous and plays very, very well as well. Just got to boot it up again. I haven't played it for yonks. Syndicate. I believe it's based on the old Amiga SNES games of old, but it's got more of a first-person action adventure shooter style of game. Looking forward to that one. Tales of Xillia. I haven't really played any of the Tales games, unfortunately, all RPGs, but apparently that was very good. Tiger Woods. Do like a good golf game, and I had hours of fun with this with a few mates and a few beers. Time Crisis 4, apparently very good and even playable without a light gun. Quite easy to play with the controllers, but looking forward to giving that one a bash. Good arcade fun. Time Shift, first person shooter it looks like. Apparently very good. the last little stack. Nearly there. I love the Splinter Cell. It was on the original Xbox when my mate first got it, Splinter Cell. I just fell in love with it. It was just my sort of game. Looked gorgeous, nice and stealthy, sneaking around in the shadows and sneaking up on people and knocking them unconscious, hiding the bodies, lovely gadgets and stuff. And yeah, I loved the Splinter Cell games. This was different. It didn't have Michael Ironside in there, the actor who played Sam Fisher, and that was a shame. But yeah, this one wasn't bad, but I still prefer the original games. That one. Oh, the rebooted Tomb Raider, fantastic fun. Definitely took inspiration from the Uncharted games. Really, really good. Played them all now in the series, all the reboots anyway. All very good, but that was probably my favourite. Maybe the second one, Rise of the Tomb Raider. And then we've got some classics there. We started playing Legend, which was very good, and I believe is that a remake of the first game? I believe so, I can't remember. And then you've got a couple more Tomb Raiders on there. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2, I played that on the Xbox 360 when I had it for a little time, and yeah, really enjoyed it. I don't think I could go back to a game like that now. Actually bought this one earlier today in a charity shop. Cheap as chips. I do think I remember it being quite interesting, but I don't really have any air combat games, so yeah, looking forward to giving that one a bash. Now jump to more Splinter Cell. Double Agent. Finish this one. Is this the one you're in prison? Yeah, you start off in prison, you break out. It was alright. Again, not as good as my favourite one is probably Pandora, Tomorrow and Chaos Theory, which is 2 and 3 in the series. But I've got those on the classic HD compilation there. So yeah, I definitely want to go back to these sometime soon. And again, you can play these in 3D on a 3D enabled TV, so that would be quite a novelty. Love my tennis games. Not all of them are very good, but Top Spin was right up there with Virtua Tennis. Played loads of that, had loads of fun with a few mates and a few beers. Really good game. Don't really hear many people talk about these, and it's the Transformer games, War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. I'm just going to include those together there. I really, really enjoyed them. I loved Transformers as a kid, as many people did. Really captured the Transformers look and feel, that classic sound of them transforming. Never get sick of listening to that sound. Played them so long ago, I can't really remember the story, but please check them out, they're so good. I wouldn't mind playing them again. Turok I haven't played. Played the originals obviously on the N64 and finished those. But this one didn't get that good a review, sort of like a 6.5 out of 10, but again, it was cheap as chips, so I thought I'd pick it up, and it does look quite good. Twisted Metal, it was alright. This, I didn't really get on with it too well. Yeah, not as good as the originals apparently, so my wife tells me. And here we go on to the Uncharted, Drake's Fortune. This one's still sealed. This is a fresh copy I picked up. Obviously I played it when I first had the PlayStation 3. Uncharted 2, as I mentioned earlier, in the steel tin. A little bit battered, the steel tin. Uncharted 3, still very good, but not quite as good as 2. Under the Feet HD, Deluxe Edition. Really good fun. Hard. Yeah, I don't have the original on the Dreamcast because that's bloody expensive, but I do have a copy of it, I think. I have to have a look, I can't remember. There's that one, and the last game is Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, which I think that was in my last pickups video. So yeah, looking forward to giving that one a bash. It looks a little bit Gears of War-y, where it's a cover-based action shooter. So there you are, guys. That'll be next time I do a collection video. I'm going to go back to retro, one of the earliest 8-bit systems. Again, I'm only going to cover the collections where I'm kind of happy with them, because otherwise I'm only halfway through it. I'm just going to do another update video later on. So sorry that was a long one, guys. Take care, and I'll see you again. Cheers.